5 on your side at 10 starts now.
We've enjoyed a nice stretch of pleasant weather across the region. Tomorrow's going to be slightly warmer. Then we've got a great weekend forecast ahead. I got the latest details coming up.
Tonight, a family mourns a beloved father killed in a hit and run.
I'm so heartbroken.
Tonight, the search for the driver responsible and the person who stole his bike. Our top story, a church conspiracy. Tonight, allegations of forced labor inside mansions across 4 states, including St. Louis County.
2 self-professed religious leaders with ties to the St. Louis area are behind bars tonight on federal charges. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. They're also accused of money laundering in Michigan, Florida, Texas, and here in Missouri. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski talked with a cult expert and the new owner of a West County property the church used to own. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, David Taylor and Michelle Brannon ran this religious group called Kingdom of God Global Church, and they had call centers in these different states, including in Chesterfield, where court documents say they forced people to work and didn't pay them.
According to a federal indictment, this man, David Taylor, ran Kingdom of God Global Church with a woman named Michelle Brannon. Documents say Taylor called himself apostle and Jesus' best friend, claiming he had multiple face-to-face encounters with God.
The last time Jesus appeared to me about the United States.
Investigators say Taylor started call centers and ran them out of various properties, including mansions and large homes. They owned Nellie's abandoned mansion in Eureka and others in Chesterfield and Wildwood. Cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan says mansions are part of the manipulation tactics.
There's also this aspect of making the leader like grandiose and, to greet other wealthy people to get their money.
The indictment states the ministry raked in about $50 million in donations, and Taylor recruited people to work for him for free at his call centers or as his personal servants called armor bearers.
One of the features of these labor trafficking rings is to keep people so busy they don't have time to think. They give people quotas, and then if they meet the quota, they raise the quota.
Text messages obtained by investigators show punishments for not making enough money included withholding food and even sleep. One of their former properties is now owned by a new family in Chesterfield who has nothing to do with the church. He learned what went on there from the neighbors after he bought it.
It was not maintained because I was told at the time there were about 12 to 13 people staying in this house all the time.
He says the neighbors reported lots of luxury cars out front and chaos.
Parties till 3-4 a.m. and people were not, there were cops coming to this house all the time.
Court documents show Taylor owned several Bentleys, Mercedes-Benz, and even a Rolls-Royce, all bought with donations solicited by people investigators say Taylor physically abused.
When you're in one of these groups, your reality gets bent so that you can't think rationally that I'm being exploited, partly because you attribute that the apostle is talking to God.
Brannon and Taylor are facing 1 count of conspiracy to commit forced labor, 9 counts of forced labor, and 1 count of money laundering. Altogether, that could mean up to 60 years in prison.
Tonight in Minneapolis, several vigils were held to remember 2 young children killed as they celebrated a back-to-school mass at their Catholic school this morning. The victims were just 8 and 10 years old. 17 others were hurt, including 14 children, when a gunman opened fire at Annunciation Catholic School. All are expected to survive. Tonight, police say the suspected shooter is dead and the search for a motive is underway.
As Chris Pallone reports, the FBI is investigating the shooting as domestic terrorism and a hate crime against Catholics.
Another mass shooting in America, this time in Minneapolis.
Just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy.
It happened at Annunciation Church as children from the adjoining Catholic school celebrated the start of a new year with a mass. Neighbors described hearing the unmistakable sound of gunfire.
It was sporadic, so it was a semi-automatic. It seemed like a rifle. It certainly didn't sound like a handgun.
Police say a gunman, early 20s, dressed in black, barricaded the church doors and opened fire.
Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building.
It was really scary.
10-year-old Weston Halsney says shots came through the window next to him.
I just ran under the pew, and then I covered my head. My friend saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
Police have now identified the shooter.
That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history.
Police say Westman was armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, all bought legally.
We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
Police say the suspect died by suicide at the scene.
It's Minnesota's day today, and it's my strongest desire that no state, no community, no school ever experiences a day like this.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Investigators say the motive for the attack is still unclear. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
President Trump signed a proclamation tonight ordering all U.S. flags to be flown at half-staff in the wake of the tragedy. The president spoke on the phone with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, offering his condolences. St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky released a statement asking St. Louis Catholics to pray for guidance, saying in part, "It is with great sorrow that we mourn an unthinkable shooting that has extinguished at least 2 young lives and inflicted great emotional harm on the Annunciation Church community in Minneapolis."
Tonight, St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery is asking a judge to throw out a key claim in the state's case to remove him from office. His attorneys filed a motion today to dismiss count 1 in Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey's quo warranto petition. It alleges Montgomery violated Missouri's constitutional ban on nepotism when he hired Malik Taylor, described in the state's petition as the sheriff's half-brother. The new filing includes a 2016 DNA test showing the sheriff's father, Whitfield Montgomery, is not the biological father of Taylor. Both sides are due back in court Friday for a status hearing.
Tonight, the North County community is stepping up to help those affected by the devastating house explosion 2 days ago. The blast damaged more than 20 homes and hurt 5 people. The nonprofit Saving Our Children set up shop on Evan Air Drive and Belcroft to pass out cleaning supplies, detergent, and essentials. A displaced couple came back today to get the rest of their things. They say they are grateful for the community's support.
It's phenomenal. It has been phenomenal. They've been coming around offering food and telling us where to go for resources as well. Yes, so yes, I thank God for them.
Blackjack Fire Station 3 is collecting donations. Cleaning supplies, brooms, and trash bags are needed.
Tonight, a Metro East family is looking for answers after their loved one was struck by a car and killed. The driver drove off.
This happened Saturday night along Illinois Route 57 near Foley Drive in Cahokia Heights. New at 10, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend talks with a heartbroken family member as police search for the driver.
Completely crushed. A sobbing Sierra Mescal cannot stop shedding tears for her father, Harold Shadler.
I'm so heartbroken. This has affected us so badly.
She says around 6 Saturday night, her father hopped on his motorized bike and took off for what was supposed to be another routine ride down Illinois Route 157 near Foley Drive in Cahokia Heights.
He would go hang out with friends and he may come home late, and that was fine, but normally there was a contact.
But when Shadler didn't return home, his family knew something was wrong. Monday, the St. Clair County coroner knocked on their door with awful news.
It was horrible. We had to call and let loved ones know
that someone hit their beloved father of 5 and grandfather with a car, killed him, and took off. It happened just a few miles away from the Belleville home where Shadler lived with his parents.
So our dad laid there in the road. We had no idea where he was. It hurt so bad because we love him so much.
Sierra says police told her they recovered her dad's backpack, tools, and some cash he had on him. Still, she cannot believe
his bike was stolen. I asked the investigator today if they found it, and they did not.
Cahokia police are leading the investigation. Illinois State Police are assisting with reconstructing the deadly crash. Mescal says she called a Cahokia Heights detective on Wednesday morning and learned right now investigators still don't have much to go on. She says police don't know if the person who hit her father is a man or a woman, plus they don't have a description of the car or any solid leads.
We want justice for our dad. We want to understand what happened.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And police ask anyone who may have witnessed the hit and run to call the Cahokia Heights Police Department. That number is 618-337-4500.
Tonight we are hearing from the son of Damon Taylor just days after police finally made an arrest. 17 years after his murder. The off-duty St. Louis Community College police officer was shot and killed in 2008. Taylor was mistaken for a rival gang member. Nearly 2 decades later, detectives announced an arrest. They say 3 witnesses told the same story. Taylor's son says it brought long-awaited closure the day before what would have been his father's 52nd birthday.
Instead of kind of having tears of sadness, it was more tears of joy and tears of honor, considering that they finally got justice, and we can celebrate his birthday with a smile and not really a cry.
Police arrested Brandon Levy and charged him with first-degree murder. Days after his arrest, court records show he is now out on bond.
In less than 2 hours, new laws will be in place in Missouri. And here's what you need to know. Missouri employers will not have to provide paid sick leave, despite 58% of voters approving Prop A last year. Temporary license plates on cars will only be valid for 30 days instead of 90. Eventually, sales taxes will have to be paid before temp tags are issued. Feminine products and diapers will no longer carry state or local sales tax. Danny's Law will go into effect, making hazing on college campuses a criminal offense. It's named after Mizzou student Danny Santulli, who was left with a severe brain injury from alcohol poisoning at a frat party. And finally, the school phone ban officially takes effect.
Coyote caution. A warning tonight along a popular South St. Louis trail. 20 years since the Katrina catastrophe.
Hurricane Katrina was a wake-up call.
The work hundreds of miles downriver to protect the Bayou State and promote habitat and healing.
Today was another picture-perfect day across the region weather-wise. Tomorrow we're slightly warmer, but as we look ahead to this weekend, some changes arrive. I got your latest detailed forecast coming up next.
A plea tonight for the person feeding wildlife around the River to Pear Greenway Trail to stop. This after an increase of daylight sightings of the usually nocturnal animal.
He was about probably 30 feet away from us, and he was looking at us very curiously because of the dogs.
Corey Hammerstone says that coyote followed them. She noticed more on her daily walk. She also noticed pans of food left in the tree lines. Conservation officials say that's a big no-no.
So we don't want to get them to the point where they're dependent on human food. It's not good for coyotes to be acclimated to humans. Obviously, it can be a problem for humans, but it could be a problem for the coyote too, because if it does become problematic, it might need to be removed or something, and that's not good for the coyote.
So if a coyote approaches you, conservation officials say you should try to scare it off by yelling and throwing things at it.
Tonight, the director of the CDC is out after less than a month on the job. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services thanked Susan Menares for her service on social media tonight. In a statement, her lawyer said she, quote, refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts. She chose protecting the public over serving a political agenda. For that, she has been targeted. Her departure comes after the resignations of 3 other top CDC officials. The FDA has approved the next round of COVID shots for the fall. They're suggested only for adults 65 and older or anyone with at least one medical condition that puts them at higher risk for illness. This could impact insurance coverage. A COVID shot could cost up to $140 without insurance.
Friday marks 20 years since the world watched as Hurricane Katrina flooded New Orleans.
2 decades later, Louisiana is still trying to solve the problems that contributed to the catastrophe. Brad Hicks takes us to the state's new line of storm defense.
Along the coast of Louisiana,
Most of this was open water.
you can walk on what, for years, has been water.
Hurricane Katrina was a wake-up call.
In the decades before the big storm, Louisiana had lost a lot of land, about the size of Delaware. Subsidence and manipulations to the Mississippi River ate away at the coastline.
Then you have saltwater intrusion that's killed all the aquatic vegetation, killing all the oak trees.
By the time Hurricane Katrina hit, the state's natural buffer to the sea had been decimated. The storm surge funneled unchecked through a shipping channel built 50 years before.
So really, Hurricane Katrina exposed that vulnerability.
In that channel, a welded cross now honors the victims, and a nearly 2-mile-long wall protects the city. But even the arsenal of concrete and steel built since the storm cannot do the job alone.
Rebuilding that natural buffer in front of the levees is really important for helping protect the city.
These piles of mud are part of the solution. Louisiana is creating 2,700 acres of new land, the biggest project like this in state history.
We have to think big because that matches the size and scale of the challenges.
Mud dredged from the bottom forms the footprints for these new wetlands. The natural buffers will slow storm surges before they reach the levee system. But they also do something steel and concrete cannot. They create opportunity, habitat, and healing.
The shrimpers, the crabbers, the oyster fishermen, those don't exist without this estuary, one of the largest, most important estuaries in the world.
It's emotional when you're able to come out and see new land that you could literally walk out and stand on where it was once open water. It's huge.
In southern Louisiana, Brad Hicks reporting.
And Friday night, you can catch our 1-hour special, Katrina, the storm that changed us. We'll take you to Louisiana to honor the lives lost and reflect on the progress made since. It will stream exclusively on our 5+ app starting Friday night at 6:30. You can download and watch for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, Samsung, or LG TV.
Tonight, a boost for small businesses and restaurants impacted by the May 16th tornado. The St. Louis Relief Fund completed its second and final round of financial relief. They gave out checks to help businesses rebound from any damages from the tornado. This includes a $500,000 donation from Anheuser-Busch to the Missouri Restaurant Association's Tornado Relief Fund.
So we know for many of you the road is long and that road perhaps hasn't ended, and this isn't all you'll need to recover and rebuild, but we hope it's one small piece that keeps you going so that you can continue to welcome community members in St. Louis to your establishments for many years to come.
The Relief Fund has now helped nearly 70 local businesses.
All right, meteorologist Lance Blocker is in for Scott tonight. He joined us now with the weather impact forecast, and the impact is just lovely. It has been gorgeous, Lance.
We are loving it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we've enjoyed a nice stretch of pleasant weather, and that stretch will continue. I've got good news for that and heading in to the Labor Day weekend. Go ahead and check it out right now. Live view looking good here on this Wednesday evening. Temperatures for us, we're in the upper 60s at this point. Look out to the west and the southwest, so you see a mid-level disturbance delivering some showers, even some thunderstorms over there. But for us, we'll stay quiet here tonight. That will continue to dive southeast. Overnight tonight, temperatures fall through the upper 50s across the area, so a few degrees warmer than what we saw to start out the day this morning. 59 degrees, that's our overnight low. By the afternoon hours, it'll be a few degrees warmer, but not hot really for us. It's going to be a very pleasant forecast. Tomorrow evening, big game, Missouri taking on Central Arkansas. 6:30 kickoff. Temperatures are great. I mean, normally on August kickoff, first game of the season, it's hot, but it's not going to be out there. They're going to enjoy a nice kickoff, nice game for you tomorrow night. Temperatures across the region will hover in the mid-80s over the next couple of days. So we're back up to 84 tomorrow, 85 on Friday. Heading on into the weekend, though, we'll have a weak cold front move through, but it's not going to be any moisture to work with, so it's going to stay dry. No chance of rain with that as that slips down to the south, but it's going to usher in some cooler temperatures Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. In fact, let's look at that Labor Day weekend forecast in detail. Pleasant. That's the key word for this. Really a continuation of what we've seen over the past week or so will play out as we move on into the weekend as well. Pleasant temperatures for us here Saturday, Sunday, and on into Monday. Perhaps a slight chance of a stray shower, but a 10% chance of rain means a 90% chance it's not going to rain. A better chance of rain arrives as we get on into the middle part of next week. Still a week out. Looking like Wednesday, maybe Thursday. That's when this next cold front arrives. That should have a little bit more moisture to work with, perhaps generate a few scattered showers. The timing still remains uncertain, but the trend in the data is showing Wednesday night on into maybe Thursday morning. Here's a look for tomorrow morning. There's that disturbance I showed you on radar earlier. It dives down to the lower Mississippi Valley and avoids our region completely. Then we stay dry as we move through the entire forecast period until perhaps Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So a dry forecast ahead. There's that cold front there slipping back in to the region. Let's go and look at it now in detail for us as we move through the next few days. Again, temperatures moderate somewhat. Short term, back to the mid-80s we go. Then we get that dry cold front on Saturday and Sunday, highs in the low 80s. So a great forecast ahead as we move through the Labor Day weekend. All the plans outdoors should remain fully intact, so we'll keep the nice, pleasant weather at play.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right. Here's sports with Frank.
Well, the Cardinals find a way to lose. We will hear from a Hall of Fame golfer, and we will tell you about a Hall of Fame employee at KSDK.
And this coming Sunday, live from historic Grants Farm, the tradition continues. You can join me and Kelly and Ann Allred and Rennie Knott and Scott Connell for this year's MDA Show of Strength. All the money raised helps people fighting neuromuscular diseases right here in the St. Louis area. The MDA Show of Strength, Sunday night at 8, right here on 5 on Your Side and 5+.
When your baseball team only allows 3 hits, you got to win the game. You have to. And the Cardinals found a way to lose it. So that means tomorrow in the afternoon game, the Birds have to beat the Pirates to split the series. These are the Pirates, folks. Don't blame Sonny Gray. He went 7 innings. He struck out 7. He allowed 3 hits and 1 earned run. Here was the problem. 6th inning. There was a miscommunication at first with Wilson Contreras and Sonny, and this will be costly. Shortly after that, bases loaded, Tommy Pham, the former Cardinal, makes them pay with a base hit up the middle. It scores 2. And the Pirates have this fellow named Bubba Chandler. He throws 100. He dominated. Pirates win 2-1.
It's just a weird play. It's just a weird play. No one, I wouldn't say anyone would be at fault. It's just a very weird play. You know, and then, you know, Tommy hits a ground ball up the middle and they score 2 runs.
Brady Cook was not drafted. He signed with the Jets and was 5th on the depth chart at quarterback. He's now 3rd. The former Chaminade and Mizzou star signed a contract today to be on the practice squad. Good money, too. Cody Schrader did the same today with the Rams, so congrats to the former Mizzou roommates. I spent the day with one of the greatest golfers of all time, Gary Player. The Stiefel Charity Classic, presented by Compliance Solutions, brought Gary to Norwood Hills for the Legends Luncheon. The tourney begins next week, and the 89-year-old still shoots par and works out a lot.
I mean, yesterday I was pushing 300 pounds with my legs at 90, still doing lots of sit-ups, running the treadmill at, you know, over 10. So I still work out very hard.
More with Gary, Sunday Night Sports Plus. Another night of girls flag football in the Metro East. Tonight, Belleville East hosting Belleville West. Watch East quarterback Deasa Willis elude the defense and run all the way for the Lancer touchdown. East did it on defense, too. Abby Brewer is going to pick off that pass, and she's going to take it to the house for a pick 6. East defends the home turf with a 50-26 victory.
What do you think there, Joe?
That's an easy game. That golden right arm and swagger belongs to our KSDK photographer, Joe Young. After 4 decades, he's calling it quits. Monday will be his last day. We've never had a personality quite like him at KSDK. There's not one person, not one, who's known him or worked with him who wouldn't say he's a great guy. Before the Today in St. Louis folks got lucky and got Joe to their shift, we spent a lot of time together. Friday night football, Mizzou, Super Bowls, he always made it fun. His football video was NFL Films quality. You'd expect that from a guy who was once a star college quarterback. The only problem is when we would go to Rams training camp, we would come back with 6 hours of video and 5 hours and 45 minutes would be of the quarterbacks. But his real gift was his charm, an all-pro personality. One time at the Olympics, we did some stuff with August A. Bush IV. They got along so well, I thought they were going to be golfing buddies. So Mighty Joe is going to retire and spend more time with his lovely bride, Kim, and his kids, Ryan, Nick, and Mackenzie, and his 4 grandkids. All I can say is, this place will never be the same without Joe Young.
Right after this newscast, you can catch the latest episode of my podcast, and there you have it on our 5+ streaming app. My guest this week, Dave Glover from KMOX. who's not afraid to discuss any topic. You can watch for free on your Roku, Apple Fire, Samsung, or LG TV. Well, Amazon is being accused of a bait and switch.
A proposed class action lawsuit says movies and TV shows you buy on the platform don't actually belong to you. It's all in the fine print. Those digital downloads can disappear if Amazon loses the licensing rights to them. The Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce engagement is spurring a lot of betting action. Wagers are being made on the wedding timeline, when the couple will have a baby, and whether Swift will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. About $250,000 changed hands on Kelce on bets the couple would get engaged this year. So some people made money on that.
There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.